suggestion addressed to you, Michael, is that without God, morality becomes subjective. Therefore, morality can't be global, and it simply depends on the individual. And we end up with the Nazis being moral beings.
Yeah, well, of course, Hitler was a Christian.
Oh, that's simply not true.
Well, it is true. Hitler was a Christian. The Nazis went into war with God with us written on their belt buckles. Hitler wrote in Mein Kampf that he was killing the Jews because he was doing the work of the Lord. The Catholic Church celebrated Hitler's birthday for the duration of Hitler's reign. Hitler, one of the first things he did when he came into power was sign a concordat with the Catholic Church. And this idea that of associating the Nazis with atheism is something that people have tried, but you're just not going to get away with it. Now, on the general issue of morality, morality is a naturally evolved product of our brains. And it's not just of our brains. Other animals also exhibit morality. There are cases that scientists have shown in terms of rats in experiments who won't eat food if they notice that eating that food is going to cause an electric shock to be given to another rat. Which incidentally also says a lot about the morality of the humans who feel that that's an appropriate thing to be doing to other species in terms of who has the best morality. There are examples of monkeys who are able to put a token into a slot in order to get food, and one of the monkeys is unable to do it, just hasn't figured it out. And a monkey that is able to do it will take the token from that monkey, put it in the slot, and when the food comes out, will give that food to the monkey that isn't able to figure out how to use the slot mechanism. There are examples of elephants in a zoo in an enclosure in South Africa, rescuing antelopes from an enclosure by opening the latches with their trunks and letting the antelopes escape. And there are a range of examples of other species showing what is morality. And morality it's part of being social beings. It's part of recognising that we're living among other beings, and human morality is just one example of morality. It's not the ultimate of morality.
Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to respond briefly to that, because I want to then go to the last question and then wrap up.
Okay. Very quickly on Hitler, I certainly wouldn't claim that Hitler was an atheist. I don't think he was, but he certainly hated Christianity. Hitler was a very wily politician. He could use any source or any organisation or group to promote his own ends, and religion was one of those. And shamefully, in some cases, Christians perhaps approved of that. But to say that Hitler was a Christian, the evidence for this is non-existent. Hitler certainly was not a Christian. He hated Christianity. The difficulty, I think, for Michael is Michael seemed to acknowledge in the discussion earlier that morality is not objective, that it's subjective. And that raises a question. Why was what Hitler did wrong if morality is subjective?
Well, can I just answer that briefly? I mean, first of all, that's not a difficulty for me. You know, it's what I believe, but it doesn't mean it's difficult for me. The reason that it is wrong is that it caused unnecessary suffering. And that's what I base my morality on. Now, regardless of where you think the source is from, you know, I suspect we're probably close enough to agreeing on the content, roughly speaking, of a lot of morality. And that is because it evolves over time, and because cooperation is as important a part, and empathy and compassion and reciprocity and sense of fairness are as important a parts of being able to evolve and to be parts of the species that continue to thrive, as are the more competitive urges that we have.